Hi everyone, this is Shantae, aka Shanteezy, on Twitter and Instagram, or just simply just Shantae. So here's another episode of hashtag Shantae's Analysis. If you want more, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Shantae Berry, or you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Shanteezy. So I am just going to come to you quickly with these coronavirus tasks, these numbers here. So I'm going to share my whole entire screen. So here we are. Can see, let me know. So US confirmed cases global confirmed cases are as follows. So according to this Johns Hopkins University and Medicine website, you see there's 106,884,498 cases of COVID. Global death toll is 2,340,087. U.S. confirmed cases is 27,189,200. And the U.S. death toll is 468,103. So as of today, we didn't have as much high cases, but it was almost 100,000. We had 89,727 cases, as you can see right here as of today. So we're at 27.1, almost 27 million.2. So we almost have 30 million cases around, in just here alone. So we make up only 20% of the world's populations, and we have the most cases. So that is very telling. Next. Let me know if you can see the screen. Hello. Why people can't see the map, I don't understand why. It's so weird. That's super weird, but we're going to make sure to fix that situation. So, here, just going to recite those case numbers for you. So, California has 3,440,529. Texas has 2,517,512. Florida has 1,790,735. New York has 1,497,732. Illinois has 1,152,942. Ohio has 925,350. Georgia has 923,544. Pennsylvania has 883,005. North Carolina has 806,916. And Arizona rounds up that top 10 with 788,540. So that in a nutshell. So we do have a plan. They order, I believe, President Biden is ordering more vaccines, which is a good thing. So this way we have more vaccines. Americans aren't returning to the second into COVID vaccines. So they're trying to get vaccines into pharmacies. That's going to be the goal, so people can have access to vaccines, and also that we can have COVID relief. And maybe by the end of this week, or maybe early into next week, there'll be some legislation for COVID relief. No, there'll be something passed in the House through COVID relief, where in the Senate they just can pass it on a partisan level. Because I seem like that's going to be the case of everything. Like everything. Like today's impeachment trial. Only out of 50 Republicans, 6 joined the Democrats to continue the impeachment trial. What does that tell you right there? Our legislative body is polarized with partisan ideologues. Some far extremists, more so in the Republican Senate. In the House, you have some progressives, but they seem to get their shit together. But How long that will be, I have no idea. But in the GOP, well, in the Senate, the GOP senators, 44 of them seems to not care about the rule of law, including the minority leader himself, Addison Mitchell McConnell. After hearing all the evidence from the impeachment managers, the lead impeachment manager himself, and, sharing his own testimony, his personal testimony of having his daughter there, his youngest daughter there, and his son-in-law, came there after burying his middle son, his 25-year-old son, wanted his daughter to witness the peaceful transfer of power on January 6, 2021. And she thought her life was going to end that day, along with Congressman Raskin. And the GOP does, obviously, they're supporting insurrectionists, and they even got a couple insurrectionists in their juror section in the GOP Senate. I don't understand what was the point of Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, and Ron Johnson as the jurors when they are the insurrectionists, including Tupperville, Haggerty and Tupperville. They just got there and already causing havoc. They ain't shit. So the Republican Party, let's read the headline. Where is that damn headline? I wanted to read it. The U.S. Senate votes that Trump's impeachment trial is constitutional. So 44 Republicans thought Donald Trump's second impeachment trial was not constitutional, like I said, including Addison Mitchell McConnell. So people like Addison, because we know where Hawley and Cruz and Rubio and Johnson and Rand Paul, we all know where they stand, and Blackburn. We all know where those idiots, including the two newly elected GOP senators, we already know where they stand. And Hyde-Smith. We already know about them. But then you got the traditional Republicans. You got the Chuck Grassley's of the world. You have the Roy Blunts and the Addison Mitchell McConnells of the world, and the Joni Ernsts and the Capitals of the Capitol. I think her. You got those traditional Republicans calling themselves the Reagan conservative, the institutionalist, a constitutionalist, an originalist, which they can keep that originalist shit because they think that we're 3/5 of a person if you are an originalist, and the party of morality. That's who Addison Mitchell McConnell, Chuck Grassley, Joni Ernst, and I believe Roy Blunt and something Capitol. They think, and Dan Sullivan, we cannot leave out Dan Sullivan. They think they're the most traditional Republicans in the world. They think they are the constitutionalists and the institution. They describe themselves as institutionalists. Well, today, that's not the case. And it hasn't been the case for them in a good while. Before Donald Trump got there, it hasn't been the case for them since President Obama. They stopped respecting our institutions since President Obama. It just morphed into something worse. They play footsie with the Tea Party. And now they play footsie with QAnon and Donald Trump. And because of that, Republicans are seeing the party of white supremacy. I mean, they were morphing to the party of white supremacy post 1964. When they did not vote for, I believe they did not vote for the Civil Rights Act of 1964. and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And conservatism has morphed into not even inclusion. There's some black conservatives, but some of them now are seeing the goddamn light. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them are seeing the goddamn light that these Republicans ain't shit. And that conservatism ideal, even though some of them do function as conservatives, but they're not going to identify themselves with the evangelicals. Yep, the former Dixiecrats. You have the former George Wallaces of the world, and I believe the Robert Byrds, if I'm not mistaken, and Storm Thurmond. Those motherfuckers. Hello, them. But Dr. C, you're absolutely correct. Absolutely right. But it's like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at Mitch McConnell's vote. Everybody's surprised. As I say, Addison Mitchell McConnell will never amount to nothing. And I meant that shit. I meant that shit in the depths of my soul. So they can keep those their fucking unity talk. They could keep that shit to themselves. Because I'm not uniting with a white supremacist and enabler of a white supremacist, or those who don't mind passing off white supremacist policies that harmed black and brown people. Yep, not surprised at all, Dr. C. I'm not for the shits. That's why Tiffany Cross was right to call out Anthony Scaramucci. Oh, yeah, and I'm not for the sanitizing of former Trump officials. Let's get that correct. Yep, the depths of my soul. I said this, and I shouldn't put this on people's graves, but I put that on my dead grandparents' dead. I put that on my grandma Bryant, my grandpa Bryant, my grandma Berry, and my grandpa Berry, because all my grandparents are dead. I'll put that on my dead grandparents, that I will never unify with a white supremacist. And I will never befriend a white supremacist and those who enable a white supremacist. I will never, ever, ever, in the name of Jesus. Amen to the church on that one. But let's get into Mr. Fetterman. So y'all know Mr. Fetterman, John Fetterman, Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania, now Senate candidate for the junior senator spot. Well, he will be a junior senator if elected. He's been very, let's just say, people been gassing him up. I mean, he's all right. When he first, before I learned about his whole, Mr. Fetterman has a video out, and I am not going to play the whole video, but I will read some of, there's an article from the New York Times. Hopefully I can read it. So John Fetterman, U.S. candidate, according to the New York Times, revisits gun incident involving black jogger. As a mayor in 2013, Mr. Fetterman and Democrat used a gun to stop Christopher Myers, I didn't want to pronounce the name wrong, a black man jogging nearby after saying he heard gunshots. The police found no weapons on Christopher and released him. So at the height of protests last year over police violence against black people, Pennsylvania's lieutenant governor called for police officers to be better trained to defuse incidents where those involved did not threaten public safety. Absolutely, Queen Lion. I so agree, because I'm going to get into that. We must fall on the side of de-escalation every time, Mr. Fetterman wrote, citing his experiences as mayor of a town, Broad Dock, which is outside Pittsburgh. But as Mr. Fetterman, one of the Pennsylvania's most prominent Democrats, entered the race for U.S. Senate this week, an incident from his past highlights his own judgment in the heat of one such moment. In 2013, when he was mayor, Mr. Fetterman used his shotgun to stop an unarmed black jogger and detain him, telling the police that he had heard gunshots fired near his home and spotted the man running, according to the police report. Fetterman continued to yell and state that he knows this male was shooting, the police report said. An officer who patted down the man, Christopher Myers, I keep messing up his name. I have no idea, Don. No idea. Then 28-year-old found no weapons. The officer noted that Christopher was wearing running clothes and headphones, and Christopher was released. On Tuesday, in a response to questions from the Times, Mr. Fetterman's campaign shared a new 2.5-minute video in which the candidate described the incident and defended himself, a sign that his campaign anticipated that the events from 8 years ago would resurface with potential political fallout from his Senate bid. In the video, Fetterman says that he was outside his home when his 4-year-old son at the time when he heard gunshots, the crushing burst of gunfire, and I immediately made a series of split round decisions. He said he saw something dressed entirely in black and a face mask running in the direction of the elementary school, noting that the date in January 2013 was not long shot after Sandy Hook school shooting. Mr. Fetterman said, I made a decision to stop him from going any further until the first responders could arrive. According to accounts Mr. Fetterman gave in 2013 to a local media, he chased the man in a pickup truck and used a 20-gauge shotgun he kept in the trunk to hold him until the police appeared. I believe I did the right thing. And he said that to a local news media at the time. But I may have broken the law in the course of it, and I'm certainly not above the law. Christopher told the TV station in 2013 that Mr. Fetterman had pointed the gun at his chest, and the mayor denied doing so. Christopher said the incident unnerved him, and he maintained that what Mr. Fetterman took to be gunshots were bottle rockets set off by a group of kids. Mr. Fetterman said no traces of fire were found in the area. No charges related to the incident were brought against Mr. Fetterman, who was in the second of 4-year terms as mayor. A search of public court records did not find any complaint or action taken by Christopher following the incident. A spokesman for the Allegheny County Police Department said on Tuesday that Christopher never filed a complaint with the department. I don't know why he should have. Yep. I'm reading the article. Mr. Fetterman is the first declared candidate in which is suspected to be one of the most marquee Senate races nationwide next year, and he is running at a time where law enforcement violence against black men, racial profiling, and other policing abuses are urgent concerns among Democratic voters. Mr. Fetterman has highlighted his work developing a community policing plan for Broad Dock with buy-in from the town's predominantly black population and firing police officers with a history of complaints. Defined by his progressive politics, as well as an imposing appearance. He is 6'8", has a shaved head, and favors work clothes over suits. Mr. Fetterman built a national profile during his 14 years as mayor of Broad Dock, a town fewer than 3,000 in a shadow of closed steel factories and struggling with high poverty. The dates of 9 murders in the town are tattooed on his right forearm, and symbol of his commitment to stopping street violence. His efforts is to revive Broad Dock with arts programs and urban farms earn his widespread media coverage, and he was elected lieutenant governor in 2018. Last month, Mr. Fetterman quickly raised $1.5 million after emailing supporters and telling his 400,000 Twitter followers that he was exploring a Senate race. In his campaign announcement video, he pledged to unify voters with left-wing politics and those in left-behind communities who flocked to former Donald Trump. He is expected to face challenges in the Democratic primaries by two or more of the state centrist members of Congress, including Representatives Conor Lamb and Christy Houlihan. Mr. Fetterman's Senate campaign on Tuesday first email. The Times have a 5-page document with complimentary news accounts that sought to emphasize that Mr. Fetterman did not know Christopher's race when he pursued him, and to place their encounter in the context of what the document called a spat of gang-related gun violence in Broadway. The campaign then sent the video and statement of Fetterman. He declined a request to be interviewed. So, overall, Mr. Fetterman, not my cup of tea. He was a Bernie Sanders supporter, which I have no issues with. But then he voted for Donald Trump in 2016 because he felt like Hillary did not show up to his community. Maybe there were some missteps in the Clinton campaign, but if you're really like a Democrat, like if you're really about that life, you wouldn't vote it for a racist, misogynistic New York con artist bastard like Donald Trump. John Fetterman ain't shit. And who's to say Conor Lamb will run for office? Because if he runs for office, a Republican won't take his fucking seat. And right now, we need all our House Representative members right now, right in this instant. Who should run against Fetterman is Malcolm Kenyatta, because he is extremely progressive. He's more progressive than John Fetterman. John Fetterman giving the most cow responses, the male Karen responses of, I didn't know his race at the time. Why would you pull a weapon on an unarmed black man? A black man. Trayvon Martin and no, not Michael Brown was around that time, but Trayvon Martin, that was a year later after Trayvon Martin was killed. And Tamir Rice. So he knew better then. You knew that fucking shit was going to resurface. And what's crazy is all the white progressives and some of the black progressives, basically, they fucking defending him. Like this Rachel chick, I think that's what her name is. And she has a long thread, but I'm not reading all of that because I'm just not reading all of that. But she's basically fucking defending him in all his goddamn tweets. Yeah, Rachel the Doc Bite Coffer. yeah, she pretty much defended this dude. She said, let's see, did he rape a woman? Well, she responded, somebody responded to her. She said, I do love this man, John Fetterman. And then this lady, Ann Burry, said there's going to be some backlash due to an incident several years ago. Just giving you a heads up, I've already donated to his campaign. Even though this person was upset with stuff, she still donates him. I don't understand why. So Rachel, the doc, Bickhoffer said, yeah, let's see. Did he rape a woman in a department store dressing room, then stage a violent coup on our Capitol while our legislators and VP were inside to try to end democracy after 245 years? No. Then don't worry about John Fetterman and Strike Pack. Got you. And then she just kept going on and on and on about this shit. And I think she ended this shit with yeah, let's see where she ended this shit. Well, leave the pursuit of perfection to the people who brought you election night 2020, where Dees lost 10 House seats, failed to win easy Senate races, and failed to flip state legislators during the 10-year redistricting year. Oh God. Oh. But I am sure the pleasant feel of not offending anyone who make you feel fine when those GOP maps that redistrict us or close to it out of our House majority drop sometime this spring. In meantime, we'll be concerned. We'll make sure it never happens again. So pretty much she was basically caping for him. And basically he makes mistakes and all of this. That's not a mistake. That's not a mistake. You knew that that person was jogging. Anybody can see that. And just because you heard gunshots, you associate that shit with black people. See, what's wrong with these white progressives? And I put the quotes progressives because they associate black people being poor and being in bad environmental places and needing health care and going to jail. Black people are so much more than that. Sometimes we are advocates for education. We are advocates for the law. We are advocates for economics. We are advocates for science. We're judges. We're not poor criminals. And people like John Fetterman and people like Jimmy Dore and even Bernie Sanders think that black people are poor and we need money. Money will fix everything. No. You have to deal with the racial reckoning first. And if you can deal with the racial reckoning, then we can get to the other avenues. And get to the place where white people back then and some now are on the wrong side of history. And that is my issue with white progressives. And because of John Fetterman and his background, I'm not for it. But to these people that's defending him, make sure you keep that energy for him instead of attacking our president and our vice president, who y'all attacked since 2019 about their record with black people. Like y'all got a say in it. And to the black people that's defending John Fetterman, fuck you. Because y'all motherfuckers ain't shit. I want to say the other thing, but I don't want to offend anybody. Because I scare the shit out of people. But it is what it is. Y'all ain't shit. Period. But I'll end this tonight because I'm not going to be doing my lives every day because I am in school. and I am working. And I'm going to be pooped. But I am going to continue my Instagram lives on Fridays. That I'm doing. That I'm staying committed to. But you can catch me on Instagram. I upload my videos on YouTube, so you can catch it on YouTube. I'm going to start putting my mini videos again on YouTube, so you guys can stay abreast. And I won't leave the people out because I love y'all. Do your research on Fetterman. It's not good. It's pretty bad. But yeah. I'll stay abreast. And thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. I know it's late, but I had work and I had class. So until then, you guys have a great night and take care of yourselves and each other and stay safe and wear a mask and wash your hands and social distance.